connection with the web channel Silver Bullet exclusively for communicative English. Silver Bullet is not yet another channel. It deals with the common problems of non-native speakers. Well, let me introduce to you the instructor, Professor Oommen Varghese, and myself, and Irene Joseph. Sir, welcome to the program. My first question to you, why pronunciation is important?
Well, pronunciation is important primarily because every language has its own music. I must say pitch, rhythm, stress, intonation, etc. to put it in a very technical way. So pronunciation is an essentially ingredient of any language. But here we pay more attention to the pronunciation because a lot depends on the pronunciation so that the meaning of the word will be understood or will be comprehended by the listener. For instance, the reason why I insist on pronunciation is, now, it can change a word into a noun, a verb, an adverb, an adjective. For instance, if you take the word invalid, I-N-V-A-L-I-D, invalid is in fact an adjective, the way I pronounce invalid. An invalid paper, an invalid vote. Because it describes a noun, what kind of vote? Invalid vote. So it's an adjective, but it can be used as a noun as well. If I change the pronunciation a little bit, if I change the stress from the first syllable to the second one, for example, invalid. Invalid means physically challenged person. So it becomes a noun. And then, similarly, in the same way, minute, a common word. We talk about so many things in every minute. That's the smallest fraction of an hour. So, minute can be changed into something very precise and accurate. We can say minute. So, this change is brought about by pronunciation. So, pronunciation is extremely important when it comes to communication. And similarly, instantly I can quote a few more examples. Conduct. I'm conducting a class now. And at the same time, I can use the same word, C-O-N-D-U-C-T. Her conduct is quite good. Her conduct is quite good. So I change the stress. Eventually, it has modified the pronunciation of the word conduct into conduct. Similarly, project. Project becomes noun, project becomes word. And a couple of examples I can say object and object. Okay? Convict and convict. So these are some of the examples. So that we cannot forget or completely ignore pronunciation. So I don't support the very idea of saying that we should speak exactly like a native speaker, because we are not native speakers in the sense that our mother tongue is something else, not exactly English. Therefore, when you learn a language, we should know how to pronounce it, how to use them in their own context. Suppose we use these words, you cannot simply ignore. You cannot substitute a noun with an adjective or an adjective with an adverb. So it will get you in trouble. That's one. Second reason is that, say for example, we have 26 letters in the English alphabet. Let me just cite an example. C, the letter C. So when you teach a child the letter C, he will definitely learn C, the letter C, as S sound, C. But if you analyze it carefully, if you just use it in different places, maybe in the beginning of a word, or in the middle of a word, or in the end of a word, the pronunciation changes there. C becomes in some places. For example, CYCLE, cycle. Okay? And another example, ACCIDENT. First C becomes K, second C becomes S, accident. Accident. Then let me just say another example like SOCIAL, it becomes sh sound, social. It is not social, social. Okay? Now, another glaring, fact is that we write the word INDICT. INDICT. How do you pronounce it? Well, in that word, we don't pronounce the C at all. We don't pronounce the C at all. But we completely ignore. It is as if it is absent there. So we would rather say indict. A particular person was indicted in the case. Indicted. We rather write indicted, but we pronounce indicted. Therefore, pronunciation is extremely important.
How are you going to deal with the most important problems of a non-native speaker when it comes to pronunciation?
Exactly. Well, that's indeed a problem. Unfortunately, we don't pay much attention to pronunciation. Particularly people who speak other languages. They go by the words and grammar, and in fact they learn grammar first. And learning grammar first will definitely impede the fluency and the proficiency of the learner. So therefore, what I recommend is, we should know how to pronounce every letter of the alphabet. And then move on to words, word by word. How stress is implied in it. How letters are absent or present when it is not present. How it intrusive R is there, or some other words come, or some other letters come in between. And even though some letters are present, they are not pronounced. And maybe by the presence or the proximity of other letters beside can change or even influence the total pronunciation of the word. So these are a little bit problematic, but I assure you, I'm not going to use any technical terms to confuse you. To give you the easiest way of mastering pronunciation. We don't have to go into the intricacies or difficult tough words using something difficult to understand for a common man who wants to learn English language. So what I recommend is better follow the easiest way without complications. These are the steps we are going to adopt in the days ahead. First we will deal with the letters. Then we will deal with words. Then later on we will deal with sentences. Afterwards, practice. I think this is a sensible way of approaching it. And I will make it as simple as possible without using any technical or etymological parlance. Okay. The sounds can be divided into three categories. First, consonants. They make up about 24 sounds. Second comes diphthongs. Diphthongs are sounds that are fused together. Two vowel sounds fused together to give rise to a diphthong. And 8 diphthongs are there. Then vowel sounds 12. So 12 plus 8, 20 plus 24. Totally it comes up to 44 sounds. So we shall be dealing with it one by one. And my first target is to teach you the 26 letters first. Then we will divide it into consonants, diphthongs, and vowels.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your knowledge with us. The forthcoming sessions will highlight every letter of the alphabet and many more in the simplest way possible. More important aspects of the English pronunciation are coming your way in the following episodes. Make use of this opportunity. You will have a unique experience as never before. Thank you.